Hi, this is Joe with One Woman and Two Acres. At least for right now. What's for dinner tonight? We're going to make some down and dirty lasagna. I've had Mel out building raised beds, and I've been out planting seeds to get them started for the garden. So I'm tired. I know she's tired. So we're just going to make a down and dirty lasagna tonight. In this pot we have bacon. Little known secret to Italian cuisine. They always add some kind of pork to their sauce to make it that unexplained flavor you taste. You might have been curious how a one-handed chef dices and everything else. It's with this handy-dandy newfangled device called a chopper. It's not working for me. Let me try this again. Wouldn't be Mel's cockeyed cottage without something not working. There it is. Now I shouldn't try to talk. And there, fine dice. I like two things to be lumpy in my sauce: my meat and these glorious mushrooms. Everything else I keep fine. Besides mushrooms, I've got onions and celery, because I got to get some veggies into Mel, and about 3 cloves of garlic. I cheat right tonight and buy canned spaghetti sauce, but it's never got enough spice for me. As you can see, when I say it doesn't have a whole lot of spice in it for me, I've got oregano, basil, thyme, black pepper, and bay leaf. And I'll put it in the pot after the meat cooks. I've got this ground beef in the pot with the bacon. I'm going to brown it off, then add my vegetables to the oil that's been put off by the bacon and the ground beef, and cook my onion, celery, and garlic. Add my seasonings, add the meat back to the pot, and then we get to the good stuff. The canned spaghetti sauce. The beef and the bacon are all rendered down. I've drained most of the fat out of the pot, or actually Mel did, because it's a two-handed job. You know, she's my other hand.
I'm good for something.
Yes. Okay. In go the spices. Come on, basil. There it goes. And in go the veggies, the chunks of mushrooms, the finely diced onions and celery, so that my only lumps are going to be the beef and the mushrooms. Did I mention I was tired? Technically, I should have taken the meat out before I dumped the vegetables in. I just can't be bothered. So I'm going to cook these until they're nice and tender, and then we'll come back and add the tomatoes and the sauce and give it a taste. Okay, our vegetables are nice and tender. All the mushroom juices have come out of the mushroom and are into our meat. And now it's time to add the petite diced tomatoes. It only makes a little lump. And the canned tomato sauce. I use 2 cans for this because I believe in cooking once and eating 2 or 3 times. This lasagna will make enough for 2 meals for just Mel and I. And then I can bag half this sauce, and we can have a spaghetti feast another night and make spaghetti. And we'll be back when it's time. After this comes to a boil, we'll taste it, see if it needs any sugar to cut down the acid and accentuate the salt. And then we'll put this puppy together. Not you, puppy. Okay, our sauce has come to a boil. So it's time to give it a taste, test the elasticity You gotta pardon me, folks. I have aphasia, so the words don't always come out right. But it could be just Mel's cockeyed cottage. I'm not real sure about that. Give it a taste to just see if it needs any sugar, because sugar will bring out the salt, cut down on the acid. Oh yeah, very acid. Time to add some sugar. It's on the refrigerator. Okay. I'm thinking maybe a teaspoon of sugar sprinkled in there to cut the acid so that I can taste the salt. You may have noticed I did not add salt to this sauce. I figured there was enough salt in the sauce and in that can of tomatoes that I didn't need to add salt. Okay, give it a good stir. Let that sugar dissolve in there. Have you ever substituted salt for sugar in a recipe?
No, I haven't done that one yet.
My daughter actually did that on Sea Island because they're all in 50-pound bins. Needless to say, the cake she was making did not turn out and taste well. But they look alike, so. Alright, get another spoon here, give another little taste. Much better. That's good. Alright, now we'll put this together. What makes this a down and dirty lasagna? Who can cook lasagna noodles and not have them stick together, stick to the bottom of the pot, stick all over the place? I'm a chef and I can't do it. So what we're using tonight is egg noodles. But there's another reason for that. Imagine eating lasagna with one hand. You have your fork in one hand. How do you hold the knife to cut it? Now let's put this together. Put a little sauce in the bottom. That way your noodles don't stick to the glass pan and then you cuss later when you try to get it out after it's baked. And then you put a layer of egg noodles. You'll find you don't have to cut it. It'll serve up nice. No, it won't look like some fancy restaurant, but remember, this is my down and dirty lasagna. I mean, I used canned sauce instead of cooking the tomatoes down and cooking the sauce for 6 hours. So, but you put a good layer of noodles on. And yes, I know they got those no pre-cooked noodles in the store. But it goes back to where they cook in the lasagna. But it goes back to what I was saying. When you're one-handed and you're holding a fork, how do you cut your food where it doesn't slide all over the plate? Okay, in this bowl here, I've got just regular small curd cottage cheese. It's also got the same seasonings that I put in the spaghetti, the basil and the oregano and a little bit of the rosemary and the thyme. And there's also an egg to work as a binder. And that will be our next layer. And I just do little spoonfuls. A lot of people don't like big old clumps of cheese. Mel told me she didn't, so at least not this kind. Now if it was cheddar or Swiss cheese, she becomes this little mouse that will eat every bit of it. And there won't be any left for anybody else in the house. I've already found this out, and I've only been here a week and a half. But I tell you what, and don't tell Mel this, but later on tonight, she's going to have a banana split. She loves ice cream, and I bought some fresh bananas that were on sale today. I bought 4 pounds for $1.99. So I'm going to make her a banana split. And most people would call it dessert, but we're usually too full from dinner to have dessert. Okay, we've got all that gooey cheese on there. Well, actually, the lumpy cheese on there. I'm going to go ahead and put another layer of sauce because the noodles I cooked them already, and they were a bit dried out. You know, I've been doing quite a number of things today. We've been trying to design the website and trying to work on a logo, and we finally got it. We toyed around with some names, and we finally decided on one. So that's coming up. So y'all need to stay tuned because close to the end of the month, we're going to be announcing the new site. Alright, now we do another layer of noodles and another layer of sauce, and then comes the good cheese. I've got some mozzarella here. You know how a one-handed woman opens a bag of cheese like this? She uses her trusty friend, her teeth. And wouldn't you know, I'm on camera, so I won't care. There it goes. And you spit out the plastic because it tastes yucky. And just so you know, I did wipe down the bag before I put it in my mouth, just like I washed my hands. But you just layer it like you would regular lasagna, except you don't have to fool those noodles. You know, when they fall apart or they tear apart, then you have all those end pieces and you never know what to do with it. With this, I cooked just enough noodles to make my lasagna, and that's it. Okay, we do another layer of sauce. And like I said, I like my sauce nice and smooth. Don't see any onions, garlic, or anything else. But what you do see is what we love. The chunks of ground beef and mushrooms that make it so yummy. And that's where Mel and I seriously mesh. We haven't met a mushroom we haven't liked except for toadstools. Well, I did good tonight. I haven't spilled a drop. And this puppy's down here just waiting for me too. Alright, we still got half a pot of sauce here that I can let cool. Put in a seal a meal or a Ziploc bag, put it in the freezer, and I got spaghetti sauce in minutes. Now we just top this with the cheese. Now this is where I'm going to spill stuff. This stuff is shredded, but it's not that real fine shred, because that stuff's a nightmare in my left hand. It would go everywhere. I mean, I'd be picking it off the carpet, out of my hair, and everything else for days. I'd shake my head, fall out. Now Mel's, like I said, is a little mouse, so we're going to make a nice thick topping of mozzarella. From start to finish, this meal for a two-handed person takes about 35 minutes. Okay, last step before putting it on the table and letting Mel pig out. Set the oven to 425, and yes, I know that's high, but it's only going in here for 15 minutes. And Mel, your stove is so low. Also in this stove, because just this one little pan of lasagna would be just a waste of fuel, I've got some homemade bread slathered with melted butter and garlic, little parsley for color. But in 15 minutes, we'll be ready to eat. See you at the table. All right, I forgot that Mel has a gas stove, and at home I cook on electric. So you put it under the broiler to melt the cheese.
Which is on the floor.
And if I got down there, Mel would have to get me up. But we have some homemade garlic bread, a simple salad, and you got a feast for under an hour. Actually, more like 35 minutes. This is Jo.
It's Mel.
And she's stuffing her face as usual.
All right, hang on.
Or trying to. She's going to burn her mouth.
Oh. Oh, that's good. I love this.
Oh, just wait till you taste my spaghetti sauce with tomatoes
Mmm.
that we've grown.
That's right.
I've planted the seeds today, so we're going to have fresh tomatoes.
Mmm. That's wonderful. I was already picking at the salad. And that's wonderful too.
I just whipped up a little vinaigrette, so
Mm-hmm. Okay.
y'all have a blessed day.